Hey everyone, and welcome to Victoria's Little Peanut Nursery. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I paint the mouth and lips of my Reborn dolls using heat set paints. And this is beginner friendly, so feel free to follow along step by step and take some notes. So step 1, make sure you start early and not last. So I don't wait until the very end to do the lips. As I shade the rest of the baby, or my little peanut, I also start mapping out the mouth. So like right away, I add eyelid purple and a bit of blue under the tongue area, and that adds depth and helps the lips look more realistic later on. So when I'm in the shading phase, I lightly line around the lips, and this gives me a clear shape to follow and helps blend the mouth into the face. First, I start with Pyro Red and I lay it down on the tongue and do a sweeping motion in like a horizontal direction onto the lips. Starting with a lighter color and building your way up to the darker version of it is how you really create depth and create a contrast, and it just adds dimension to the overall look of your baby's lips. After the Pyro Red, I go in with a rosy blush to soften and warm things up a bit. And I make sure I rotate the head and check all angles so I don't miss any spots. And I'd also recommend that you bake in between each layer at 265 for 9 minutes. And I apply that rosy blush over the lips just like I did with the Pyro Red. I also suggest that you use an inspirational picture to really help guide you into what colors you should use. You can note the blush color that is on the baby's skin, and that will automatically really give you an idea of what colors you should begin with when it comes to blushing as well as coloring and giving life and blood flow to your baby's lips. And with all of this into consideration, you also want to take a peek at how the baby's lips are shaped. You want to keep in mind any milk blisters. You also want to keep in mind any fatty areas or an area that may be thinner, because we want the lips to appear translucent. Once the rosy blush color is baked and cooled, I go back in with another layer of the Pyro Red just to make sure I build depth and create some added dimension. Just being sure and mindful that these colors are building on each other. Not bringing in additional colors at this point, but just building up that Pyro Red in rotation with the rosy blush. And focusing on my inspirational picture as a guide to help me even with color placement. During this same layer, I go in with a red and even a crimson mauve-ish color to line the creases of the lips and to also put more red in areas that would naturally appear red on a baby. This is important to create more dimension and to just make it more lifelike and realistic. So using your brush in stippling motions, or even a vertical direction or a horizontal direction, or just placing dots in just sporadic places on the lips, this will create a textured appearance, again without having to bring in mediums, as well as allowing the lips to look more realistic and simple, because you don't have to add an abundance of color to create a realistic appearance. You just have to be strategic in what colors you choose and in the methods that you use to apply the paint. And you can do all of this with one or two brushes, and as you can see, 3 or 4 colors, and it'll get you exactly where you want to be. So now I go back in with a final layer of eyelid purple to just really pull it all together. Throughout the whole process, I am using Irresistible Thinning Medium to help the paint go on sheer and really smooth. So just as you would shade your kit and also blur the lines from the dark to light, you want to make sure you're doing the same thing with the mouth area, and especially the tongue, and I mean even the lips too. You want to make sure that you have that gradient effect from light to dark in different areas. So use your brush, use different colors, use a cosmetic wedge, just to ensure everything is nice together, seamless, and realistic. That's a lot, right? The final color that I'm going to use is a magenta color. I really bring this color in just to make everything pop. And I go into areas that are deep or into areas that would have more blood flow closer to the skin. And this again just really helps to bring home the dimension and the depth. So once all the layers are fully baked and cool, I'm going to seal the lips with Genesis glazing gel, and you could use any glazing gel of your choice. So I use a small palette knife and even a brush, and I put it mostly in the center of the bottom lip and at the corners of the mouth just to catch the light. Be sure that you don't overdo it. Too much gloss can really look plasticky or shiny, and we don't want that. So let's review quickly. We started shading the mouth early, not at the end, and we built up realistic colors using Pyro Red, Rosy Blush, Crimson, Eyelid Purple, Magenta, and we blended carefully, baked in between layers, right, and sealed with a thin glaze. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep painting.